Welcome to the Waterboyz episode 14. Today we have Dakelle Brooks and Glen Cox of UPEI basketball. We'll get to them later. But Justin, we had a big weekend of coverage for us.
Big and busy. Busy. I would say busy is a more key word here.
Folks don't care about how busy we were. What they do care about is how big it was. And it was a big one for UPEI.
Well, it was big for UPEI in a big way. They made history this weekend. Yeah. Last week we had specials for you guys in terms of it was nationals this past weekend on the island. Sydney Linden and Sophie Vandell were on last week, so if you didn't already see it, go check that video out. But they made some noise.
They did.
They weren't last. They won their first ever.
Were they 6th or 7th?
They finished 6th.
6th in the nation, which is pretty good, to be honest. That's something to hold your head up about.
Oh, for sure. They won the first ever game that UPEI has ever won at nationals. So that's a huge step in the right direction for this program. I know that they're gonna lose like half of their team this year, so like it is what it is. They're probably not going to be back there for a little bit, but they did have a win, which they created history, and they can hold their heads on that. And what was more impressive to me was the fact Friday night they had like 1,000 people watching women's hockey. Oh, 5 years ago on the island, you wouldn't have got that. But
no.
Friday night,
packed house.
It was packed, and it was just a great atmosphere.
They did tell us like 75% of capacity ahead of time, and they just sold everything.
It was 75% capacity.
That's something to touch on later for sure. But who do you think stood out at the tournament?
Definitely Concordia.
Yes, I was going to say Concordia.
Just how well coached they are. Julie Chu and Caroline Ouellette, I think is her. I have to pronounce her last name. They're co-head coaches of the Concordia Stingers. They're actually engaged as well. And Julie's...
They're Olympic athletes too.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to get to. Julie is an American.
Yeah.
She's been
USA!
She's been a 4-time or 5-time Olympian, I think, for them.
Okay.
And Caroline was a 3-time, or I don't remember exactly how many times she's been to the Olympics, but she's a Canadian Olympian. So it's a Canadian-U.S. rivalry inside the...
Just like this podcast.
Yeah.
Just like this podcast.
Yeah. We connect in so many ways.
Yes. But, you say poutine, I say poutine, but...
Yeah, you're right. But, so that was just how well coached they are. It is incredible to watch.
They have a good program there, too.
Yeah, and it's really starting to be developed better and better.
Compared to Cape Breton women's hockey?
Well, compared to just any team that was there, they really outshined anyone. And they hadn't lost since November, so...
For sure.
You can just tell how well determined they were and how well disciplined they are, and it's such interesting. It was such an interesting tournament overall. Personally, I think anyone that played Brock would have had the easiest path into the semifinal. As we've seen, like if UPEI got matched up against Brock in the quarterfinal, I think UPEI would have been in a national semifinal with a chance to have a bronze medal.
Really? That bad, eh?
Brock? Yeah, Brock just got lucky, I think, to get there. Like,
what conference do they play?
The OUA, like Ontario Women's League.
And that's pretty competitive, too.
Yeah,
Were they the wild card?
No, they actually won the OUA. So it's kind of interesting. Like, the number 1 team in the nation was Toronto, UFT, University of Toronto. They got knocked off by Nipissing. Nipissing.
Is it Nipissing?
Yeah, I know. It was a tongue twister all weekend. Nipissing is what the
I thought it was Nipissing.
No, they like Nipissing.
Okay.
So...
Now you know, folks.
Yeah.
It's Nipissing.
So, the whole weekend, that whole thing, Nipissing beat UFT, which was a massive upset. And then somehow Brock beat Nipissing in the OUA final. So Brock got here and they were ranked number 4. For Saskatchewan, it was a really good matchup because it got them into a semifinal against Concordia where they lost 2-0, I think.
Yeah.
But it was a really good game. And overall, I just think anyone that was going to play Brock was going to a national semifinal, which would have been huge. And another thing about this women's tournament this past weekend, Grant, I think they we'd have to go back and check, but I didn't know where to exactly look. I think they beat a U Sports record this weekend. And can you guess in what stat this is?
Most penalties?
No, actually.
Really?
Most shutouts.
Didn't we just only get the one?
No. What we got was the first game was 5-4 for UMB, and then
there were. You mean total amongst all the teams?
Yes. Every other game was a shutout. So we went on a 10-game shutout streak.
Jeez.
Like, it was
massive.
Insane.
So, was it goaltending or scoring that was lacking?
Scoring was lacking.
Scoring was lacking?
Yes. If there's an area that women's hockey needs to improve on, I would say it's going to be goal scoring, and they're going to get better at it.
Well, Sid and Sophie told us that they need to work on goal scoring, and not as, a sport, but as a team.
Yeah.
So, how did they do on that aspect?
Like UPEI?
Yeah.
Like against Brock, they did good.
Okay.
But
and then obviously
Friday night,
shutouts.
Friday night against Concordia, they were shut up 7-0.
So
you're playing the number one team in the nation. You also lost your head coach.
Yes, to COVID.
Yeah, the day of the quarterfinal. Yeah. They lost him to COVID, which we are sorry for because it's his last year.
Now let's be clear. We didn't lose him. We just didn't have him at that game.
Lost him in terms of lost him for the game for the weekend. So his last year, his 16th year, unfortunately, he's not able to finish it out with his team, which everyone was tremendously upset about for him. Now the girls did do a good job fighting Friday night, but going against the number one team in the nation, you got to come with your perfect game, and unfortunately they just didn't have it that night. Against UBC was a very physical team, and only a couple players, I would say, on UPEI, and one in particular, Jolina Gollard, really stood up to the physicality of that game. Just the rest of them weren't, I wouldn't say, as aggressive or as, confrontational. Like, Marielle Martin also was a little aggressive. She actually face washed someone who got in the box before it grabbed their face at the end of the game when they were losing 4-0. But UBC was just a very physical team, and UPEI couldn't match up with that. Yeah. So I think that's part of the reason. Also, another disadvantage for UPEI is their starting goaltender and senior Camille Sugar got hurt in warm-ups, and
So Shug actually went down in warm-ups with hip injury, didn't she?
Yeah, so she actually, it was a weird accident between actually Sydney Linden and her. Sydney was apparently stick handling, and Shugs and her just didn't see each other and just kind of ran into each other, and Sydney went over top of her, and actually we believe that it was a dislocated hip. I may be wrong on that, but she did play the first period and then have to come out of the game.
Jeez. That is, that's competitiveness right there.
Overall, great weekend from the UPEI Panthers, I think, in my opinion. And how was it on the volleyball end of things?
Well, didn't go the way we liked it to. Holland College only won one set out of
6 or 7?
7 sets. 1 set out of 7 this weekend. So it's tough. So they started off, they got swept by Humber, and that was a quick run by Humber.
Was it even competitive sets, or was it like 25-13?
Not so much. Obviously, we had Hayden and Sam on, head coach, and one of the star players from Holland on before the tournament, and they said the goal was to play meaningful matches. Yeah. And they weren't sounding too hopeful, and we kind of saw that. The first set was probably floating around 25-13 at Humber won, and then that continued on that trend.
Okay, so here's my question: Hayden came on here last week and said that he liked the matchup against Humber.
Yeah.
What really stood out to you that they didn't have?
He said that was probably the most, evenly matched matchup all weekend. But I would argue Lynx from Cégep Théophile Montpetit out of Longueuil, Quebec, they would probably be the better matchup. Or even, I would almost say, maybe Le Rouge, Université de Saint-Boniface, out of Winnipeg. Because Le Rouge, that was their first time ever in the national tournament. And if Holland College doesn't host these last few national tournaments, I don't think they'd be in the position to be in one. They're a good team. They got a lot going for them, but they're a lot like Le Rouge in that within the conference, they're looking pretty good. But once it gets to that national stage, man, they just can't hold it. And, Hayden said they wanted meaningful matches and said against Humber it looks pretty good, but really, Humber just came out real strong. And it must have been an off night for Holland. Another off night, like it was against St. Thomas.
No, did they have a packed house?
A what?
That was the packed stands, sorry.
They did. First game was looking really good. Big student section. Got the drums and everything again. But, like Hayden said, sometimes you don't want the big, loud atmosphere in volleyball because that can lead to getting out of the zone, getting out of the comfort level. And I think Holland College was just uncomfortable this weekend. They got a lot of young players. They do have the veteran Sam Gerbing, but they do have a lot of young talent. So it'll be interesting to see next year.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully they match up better against Humber because they are one of the best in the OCAA. Humber is. But then again, OCAA and ACAA match up somewhat evenly.
So would you say ACAA had kind of an underperforming weekend?
Yeah.
Just
MSVU lost same way. They were out within the first 2 days, after the first 2 days. So Holland College went on to play Le Rouge. And I thought that was going to be a bit more competitive than it was. I thought it would have gone to 5 sets, but it just went to 4. Holland College won their only set of the weekend against Le Rouge, and that was pretty competitive. First set, I thought it was going to go Holland College's way, but it didn't. Second set, I think that's where Holland College won. And then third and fourth set is where Le Rouge really stuck out and kind of took away with the whole thing. So, I thought a couple more balls going our way and, a couple serves, a couple calls, and that game's going to the 5th set and we get the backdoor bronze. But I'll tell you, that was an interesting and fun tournament for Pac West. The West showed out big out east. It was a Pac West final, Justin.
Yeah.
Because get this, Douglas won the Pac West. VIU, Vancouver Island University Mariners, they were the wild card. But because they were the 2 best, they went to the tournament, obviously. So, divided against the whole tournament, and then they meet each other in the finals. And it's sort of a feel-good story for VIU. They have a Ukrainian national player, Evgenia Lefanenko, and she is a powerhouse. She's either 6'4" or 6'5", and just got a cannon for an arm. She, she.
I can just imagine that, picturing that. Oh my god.
She's a big presence in the middle of the court, and she had a lot of big blocks. She had a lot of big spikes, a lot of great offensive play. And let me tell you, in her semifinal game, she took a spike off the head, went over, and they got the point off of it, just like they drew it up on defense. So she's not just good with her hands, not just good with her serves, not just good with her blocks, but she's also good with her head too, in more than one way. Because, man, she is a very smart player. And
By the sounds of it.
She had a big weekend. So she actually couldn't play in her conference final because her heart was hurting for her family, right? That's when the conference final started, when the bombing started in her hometown of Ukraine. And she said, her head wasn't in the right place. And I think nobody holds that against her. Her coaches didn't hold it against her. Her teammates didn't. And, I think somebody would be upset if they did hold it against her.
No, I did see you did do an interview with her after the game, and she actually said that her mother doesn't know that she's playing right now.
Yeah, she did not tell her family because she said she wanted to make sure her family was safe before she told them that she was having fun and that she was a champion. So, spoiler alert, VIU won against Douglas and in a little redemption from the Pac West. Douglas was saying, Jeff Ross, their head coach, he was saying that Eugenia was going to be the big competition this weekend. That's who they would focus on. And VIU as a whole. And once they knew they were playing VIU, you could see the coaches were definitely working on some film and definitely seeing what they could do because they had seen VIU, but they hadn't seen Eugenia in the playoffs. And in her, it's either her third or fourth year of eligibility. I think it's her third. But she is going to be a presence out west for a long time to come. So 2 big tournaments on the weekend.
2 big tournaments, 2 fascinating weekends.
Yeah.
Some
Cinderella stories.
Well, there's been some Cinderella stories. St. Peter's, you see
Man.
St. Peter's, absolutely insane Cinderella story.
Oh, yes. The funding is the big story, right?
Yes.
And just the facilities in general. St. Peter's doesn't have a regular gym that I know of. I know they have a consistent one, but they don't have, one that's had a lot of history. Their coach's office have been flooded because it's under a swimming pool. Their rise halls are terrible. Their whole campus is just a city street in Jersey City. Compared to any team, not just that they've beat in this tournament, but compared to any team in this tournament, they were the underdogs. Yeah. I didn't even look at the Peacocks logo, statistics, or anything when I clicked Kentucky, filling out my bracket.
Yeah. Well, you just wouldn't expect it, and they're the first ever team to make the Elite Eight, which is incredible. I know
they 15 seed.
Yeah. I know no other 15 seeds ever made the Elite Eight. I think that we saw an unbelievable run. Unfortunately, it came to an end because the Tar Heels,
Well, Justin, the old adage: you can't get to heaven in a red canoe because God's favorite color is Carolina blue. Go Tar Heels, baby!
I don't know where you come up with these American skits, but okay. But
they're not skits; they're wisdoms. And you better write them down.
Okay.
They're called Grantisms.
Grantisms.
That's what my family calls them.
Nice. I'm glad you have your own.
I love you, Mom.
But moving on from Grantisms, the Tar Heels obviously came in here and they took care of business. They beat the St. Peter's Peacocks.
The Peacocks struck.
20, I think.
Yeah, it was.
It was a good game. I mean. So now looking into our Final Four, we have Coach K on his final season up against UNC. You couldn't write this. You could not write this.
We haven't seen this for years. How long has it been since we did Duke and UNC and March Madness?
It's been a long time.
It's been a minute. I think I was
still
in diapers the last time. But, man, dude, what a game. I'm so excited for this. Who's winning? See, I'm saying UNC all the way.
I have Duke.
I have Duke, but I wasn't expecting this momentum. I wasn't expecting UNC to be there.
But Duke's playing their best basketball right now.
They are.
They're playing unbelievable. And UNC, I know they beat them at Cameron a month ago or 2 months ago now.
Tar Heels got heat.
No, they're not as good as what Duke is right now.
Heat is undeniable, Justin. In March Madness, that's what you're working with. That's why the Peacocks made it so far, because they had some heat. They turned it down to simmer and let it, condense down a little bit. They were making a nice roux, but, Tar Heels beat them. But Tar Heels are winning against Duke.
So what's your national?
Because they got the heat.
So what's your other national or Final Four pick?
My Final Four pick?
Well, you got either Kansas or Villanova. So who you picking there? We got Kansas who beat Miami by 20 points the other day, and Villanova knocked off this really, really good Houston team. So,
I'm taking Kansas there. They have got long history of being good in March, and I don't see this year being any different. They have got good offensive heat behind them, and they're playing somewhat well on the other side of the ball too. They're blocking some big shots. They're holding some big teams down to low numbers, low-ish, but they haven't really found themselves on their heels much this tournament.
No, the only time I would say they found themselves really in trouble was start of the second half of, or the first half of this Miami Elite Eight game.
Yeah,
they were down by
look how they finished.
Yeah, they came back and they scored 50-some points in the second half.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just something in the water there that game, but, I think they were just coming out a little off. It's a long month.
For me, I have Villanova versus Duke in the final now because,
Yeah, I think I had that.
It's just Coach K's finals.
Yeah,
man, it's something there.
Seeing all these upsets, seeing these disruptions, seeing this, misinterpretations of how games are going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas and UNC.
Well, we'll see next weekend, folks. But this last part we wanted to mention before we turn it to Dakelle Brooks and Glen Cox is the NHL.
Heating up.
We got a couple of weeks.
The home stretch too.
We got 20-some days until the NHL playoffs begin.
Man, it comes around the corner quick.
It really does.
Yeah.
And the East, the East is settled. It's a joke. Yeah. There's no race. It's Boston and Washington are 15, 20 points up on the next wild card team, which is Columbus.
And was that much of a surprise? I don't think so.
The only surprise to me is the Islanders didn't do as good as what they were last year. They made it to the conference finals last year, so
that's the Islanders, though. Not to rain on their parade, but they get hyped up in August. They get ready to go in October, and then by January, February, it's like, oh, well, that didn't go the way we wanted to.
Islanders fans are going to hate you.
They can come for me, because obviously they don't fight for long.
Frankie Borelli, you can come for him if you heard that.
Yeah, because you're going to be fighting me in March and April, and obviously you don't stay hot around those months.
But other than that, we have actually... I'm sorry, but... Frank Borelli, if you really want to come fight him, you can do it. You can do it all you want.
I was the Summerside Capital for 3 days, Frankie. Come for me. If you're going to come correct. That's all I'm saying.
So, in the West, we have a race. We have a dogfight. Who do you think's making it?
Vegas.
Why?
Look at who they're better than. They're better than Dallas. They're better than Winnipeg. They've been doing pretty well this season. Consistently.
They're not better than Dallas.
Oh, they're better than Dallas. Way better than Dallas.
Dallas is way better than them, and they don't even have a goaltender right now.
Okay, obviously rankings aren't everything, but if you look at the rankings, Vegas has been ahead of Dallas for a minute, a Texas minute, and obviously...
a big Texas minute.
Obviously, Dallas didn't get the memo.
Okay,
that's their time to shine.
Here's the thing, though. Vegas is 1 point up on Dallas, and they're 4 games more played. They have 4 games more played than what Dallas is.
Okay.
Dallas has the opportunity to overtake them and clear them by a lot.
Here's the metaphorical baton. It's being handed over to Vegas. Vegas is going to run with this.
No, they're not.
Continue past Winnipeg. Continue past Dallas.
Vegas is a disappointment.
They're going to sneak in.
You want to know something?
They're going to sneak in that 8 spot, Justin.
You want to know something?
You want to know something?
Vegas fans have never experienced what it's like to miss the playoffs. They need that.
Do you want to know something?
They need that.
Do you want to know something?
What?
They have never experienced missing the playoffs, and they're not going to this year.
I mean, that's a fair response, but they need to miss the playoffs. They need to.
Heat. That's what it's all about in the postseason, Justin. Just like Kansas, just like University of North Carolina. just like...
We'll see here in the next 20 days what happens, but I'm telling you right now, Dallas, Winnipeg, or Vancouver is making the playoffs over Vegas. It's a dogfight. You can't tell me it's not a dogfight.
I got 5 words for you, man. Anything can happen in March. This will happen in April. But anything can happen in March.
Where's your statement? This is going to happen in April, so where's your statement going?
I'm saying Vegas is running off the baton in March to close this month off.
Okay.
We've had a long month, and you know who hasn't?
Who?
VGK. Vegas Golden Knights, baby. They've not had a long hard month, man.
And just like that, we're going to turn it over to Dakelle Brooks and Glen Cox. Because we can't decide on if Vegas is going to make the playoffs or not. Thank you, and we'll see you later.
Welcome back to the Waterboyz, episode 14, Justin. We are here with Dakelle Brooks and Glen Cox of UPEI men's basketball, 4th years and 2nd years respectively. Folks, welcome to the podcast. It's good to have you on.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Okay.
Yeah. Congrats on your run, first of all.
Exactly. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yes, good run. Heartbreaker against Dalhousie, obviously. Yeah. But let's take it back to the humble beginnings of your two's basketball career. Glen, I'd like to start with you because you come from a small town in Nova Scotia, Scottsburn. You said...
There's probably 200 people there. It's a village. Yeah. It's not even a town. It's a village.
Yeah. One elementary school.
Yeah.
Your diner's business hour sign is hilarious. I believe it's just paraphrased. We're open from 9 to 10. Sometimes we open around 6. Some days around, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a very small town. How did you start basketball there?
I just... playing in the driveway, to be honest. We had a school team, elementary team. I played on that, and I don't know. I just really like basketball, and then I just moved on to middle school, played there, and just played at high school, and then came here. To be honest,
yeah.
I don't know. It was small. Not a lot of good competition there, so I kind of had to go play in Halifax and stuff to get competition, but. In the end, it worked out, I guess.
Was there anyone at a young age that you looked at that, inspired you to start playing basketball?
Like from around my area?
Just anyone?
Yeah. I've always watched the NBA, so guys like that. But to be honest, I just always worked on it by myself. To be honest.
Who's your team in the NBA?
Who's my favorite team? I'd have to say Brooklyn because of Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We both love Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Dakelle, you went to East Preston.
Yeah.
Played at some prep schools. Very different than Glen. No offense, Glen.
Yeah, totally different. Man.
Well, I started out at Auburn, so I went to high school in Dartmouth. Went to Auburn Job High School. Junior high, I went to Graham Creighton. Both powerhouses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I won I want to say junior high, I won 2 provincial championships there, and then high school at Auburn, we went back to back as well. Yeah, I made history over there too. Yeah, it's crazy.
Way to be humble.
No. I got 2 rings, and the second one goes on the middle finger for a lot of people over there. But the guys know what it is. So.
All right. So you went to Toronto to play a little prep too. Tell us about that.
So I went to a prep school called BTB, Bigger Than Basketball. I played with one guy from over here too, over North Preston. I played with Levi, but that was a crazy experience. Got to go to the States, play against different competition, see different people around the world, so that was good. And then in the summer I played on the Adidas Gauntlet team for Northern Kings, so I played with some major talent right now who played in the NCAA tournament right now, but I don't think some of them actually exited 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But after that, after my first prep school, I went to Southwest in London, Ontario. It was the first one to start over there. Mm-hmm. So we went there, did my thing over there, had a couple of interests over there. I guess I just waited too late. So you know how that goes. Yeah. Everybody wants to go D1, but then when the grades come into play, it's not, So after that, went to Nike Exposure Camp in Toronto, and then that's where Coach DG picked me up.
Yeah.
And I've been with him ever since.
So how was the recruiting process for you, Glenn?
It was probably a lot different than that because I was coming from a smaller school. So I don't know. I went to a couple bigger tournaments in Nova Scotia and started getting some looks from other universities like CBU, Acadia. But then I think that might have been my last one was DG from UPEI, and he took an interest in me, and I came on a visit here and I really liked it. So thought it'd be a good fit, so I ended up coming. Yeah.
So what was the deciding factor for why UPEI?
Why UPEI? I mean, I thought it'd be a good, like, I came here, I liked the guys, so it'd be a good fit. Like, DG really seemed to like me. As long as your connection is good with the coach, I guess that's the main thing, right? So.
And what about for you?
Man, DG, I had nowhere to go, so DG took a chance on me, so that's why I applaud him for that, man. Coach is my guy.
What do you mean you had nowhere else to go?
Because I waited too long, so like it was like, options were becoming limited, so I just went with UPEI with Coach. I read off the vibe, and then especially I knew the assistant coach at the time, he was at BTB too, so it just all worked out together.
Yeah. So when a door closes, a window opens.
Exactly.
Classic phrase.
Yeah.
So you went through the window, came to UPEI.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've been here for
4 years. Yeah.
4 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You spent your whole eligibility here.
Yeah.
How have you seen the program change in 4 years?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I think we just like to work. We're really good at that. Like we're really good at like getting to work. Like we knew coming in this season like what type of team we could be. We took the off season last summer. Everybody took it seriously. Had some new recruits in. Some good recruits came in, helped us too, and then we just had to just come together and just get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now you've been here for 2 years.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that change at all, or have you just come into success?
I mean, I think it's a big difference from my first year to where we are now. Honestly, just the right players stuck around, and we consistently put the work in. We never let off the gas pedal, and we just knew that if we kept doing that, like eventually we'd get to where we are right now, I guess. And I mean, it's great. Like it's great to see that progress. Like, so don't where we started from. 3-17. Now we're second place in the whole AUS. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
like,
you guys before the season were basically the laughing stock.
Kind of, yeah.
You guys were ranked 8th going into this year. Like they had predicted that you guys would be the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
You guys proved everyone wrong.
Yeah.
How good did that feel?
Amazing.
Felt amazing.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, it felt amazing. Yeah.
What went into that to make that feel amazing for you guys?
Just like I don't know, like the hard work. Like we know like how much hours you put in the gym. Like you know what I'm saying, and we knew like we weren't a bad basketball team. We were actually a really good basketball team. So I mean, once we seen what we could do, I think we just ran with it. Yeah.
Now you both have had standout seasons. 10 starts for you.
Mm-hmm.
You went almost 80-90% from the free throw line too.
Something like that.
Yeah. So who else stood out on the team for you this season?
Oh man, EJ, point guard. Yeah, man, EJ did his thing for sure. Second team All Star. I mean, what is his second All Canadian?
Yeah, he's gonna be second team All Canadian.
Yeah, he's away right now, getting that award right now. Shout out to him for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to EJ. Yeah, for sure.
So how big of a floor general is he on the floor for you guys, and how much leadership does he have for you guys?
EJ's big, bro. That's the PG. That's a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he knows where to get. Like he knows his spots. He knows where to get to people. Like you know, he's really good. He's just really good.
Yeah.
So like, how is it though playing with him? Is it kind of like you just basically listen to what he's telling you, or you guys feed off each other?
Just feed off each other. Like just like again, like he knows where people's spots are. Like he knows where Glen's spots are. Like you know. EJ drives, Glen's gonna cut always. So EJ knows when to give him there. EJ goes, if he drives baseline, he knows I'm in the corner. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like EJ, he knows like where everybody's at. You know, he's a good floor general for sure.
Is it something that he practices just on the floor, or just
every day in practice we play on the same team, so like you know what he's gonna do. Like we've hours and hours of scrimmages and whatever playing with him. So like after a while, like you know exactly where he's gonna give the ball, when he's gonna give it to you. You know, so you just get used to it.
How big of off-floor presence does he have on the team?
Oh man, I say like we're all close. Like I think that's what it makes us like really good like on the court, because off the court we really bond with each other.
Is that what you think maybe kind of brought you guys together this year? Like just
I think
how
that
close
for sure.
the team actually is.
We're really close.
Yeah. Now, earlier in the year, we had Logan Rempel on from Holland College. Mm-hmm. He actually had a short stint with you guys, and he had, I don't want to say criticism towards your coach, but he found his cut was definitely unexpected, to say the least. So, how have you found your coach this season for you fellas?
Oh man, DG is awesome, man. That's my guy. Like I said, man, from a coach to like telling you like good advice, like life lessons and stuff. Like he's all in all. To me, he's a good coach.
And what about you, Glenn?
Yeah, same what he just said. Like he's always there for me when I need him. Like he's really driven. Like he's in the gym like hours and hours. Like I don't know if other coaches are like him, to be honest. Like he'll be in there like working out individuals, then practice, then he's in his office. Like he's there all day. Like he puts in the work. Like so he deserves like what we got this year. You know, like he deserves it because he does put in the times for sure.
You guys even have practice today, and you're in the off season. So like
we had practice today. Sure,
it never stops.
Yeah,
I mean, we seen where we got to. So why not go the extra mile?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So that brings up a good point. You guys had a fantastic playoff run, to say the very least. An unexpected one. Cinderella story of the ALS. But you came up short against Dalhousie. So, what was the focus going into these playoffs?
Like we said, we had nothing to lose. So, there was no pressure on us.
I think everyone on the outside thought we were gonna come short like usual.
Back down.
On the inside, like within the team, we knew like we had a chance. You know.
Yeah, we knew. Like we just after the Memorial game.
Yeah.
We just said, like this next practice, like we gotta lock in, and then we went from there.
Now let's take it to the Dalhousie game. You guys led going into half. What was that locker room like?
Yeah, you guys even led going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We went in there. We just knew that they were going to punch us back. We knew it wasn't going to be this type of game all game. So we knew they were going to come out. Keevan was going to do what he does, and Alex is going to do what he does. So we just tried to, refocus and just pick up defensively.
Yeah, for sure. And Glenn, you had one of the most impressive first halves of that championship game. You had like 26 points, I think, and went 11 for 14 field goals. What was clicking for you? You think did you guys know that they were going to pay all their attention on EJ, and then you just knew you had to step up?
Yeah, I guess kind of. I played every game the same. I don't know, I got really hot that game, to be honest, and everything was going in, so I just kept going, and I don't know, it felt good to do that in front on the big stage or whatever. But everything was clicking. I did the same thing every game. That game, it was really clicking for me, and I just kept going with it, So you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
In the second half, actually, I was watching the game, and Dalhousie's coach gave a interview at halftime, and he said, their team made you look like an all-Canadian player.
Yeah.
In the second half, what adjustments did you find they did to you to stop you?
Probably just they keyed in on me a little more. I don't know, I think they might have switched the matchups a little bit. To be honest, someone else was guarding me. They were switching matchups all the time, but they had maybe a bigger guy on me or whatever. But it just to be honest, it wasn't nothing to do with the offense. I think we just defensively we kind of broke down a little bit coming towards the end of the game, and that was the real reason why we came up short. But I don't think it had anything to do with our offense, to be honest.
How were you feeling that game?
Man, I was feeling good. I had a heel situation for a couple of weeks prior to, but I felt good. Honestly, I knew they were gonna hit us, and I just thought we were gonna be prepared. But when you look back, it looked like we just started just getting gas. We were gassed, and then we just started laughing defensively,
mentally almost.
And that's when they got us, and they took advantage of that.
But
now, as Justin said, you guys led going into the fourth quarter, though.
Yes.
So obviously you weren't that gassed.
No.
But we're talking about a perfect 40-minute game, because when you play Dow, you got to play a perfect 40-minute game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect, has to be perfect. So they're not going to let you just win like that. We were up 15 and a half?
14.
14?
Yeah, I think so.
And we knew it when we
we didn't come in the locker room and say, "Yo, like we're getting these guys."
We knew it.
Right
we were
now.
like, "Yo, like these guys."
And you guys are up like 6 or 7 points going into the fourth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had a run in the third. You guys kind of came back from that one, and then in the fourth quarter, what do you guys think happened that they really just took over the game? Especially, I'm forgetting his name right now, but number 11 on Dalhousie took over the game.
Keyvan.
Yeah, Keyvan.
I think defensively, we just lost focus defensively. Couldn't really respond to their run, I guess you could say.
We got a bit stagnant on offense. Couldn't move the ball a little bit. They were really not letting us move the ball side to side. But honestly, like we put our whole pride on defense the whole year, you know. So that's what we don't look to offense to win the game, right? Just to look to defense to win the game. But yeah, obviously it was just a little bit short. Like we'll learn from it though, you know. So.
No, obviously not the result you wanted, but it's the stage you wanted. How was it playing at Scotiabank Center in Halifax there on that stage that big?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy feeling. First time being there.
Yeah, especially when you watch it. Like my whole life growing up, I've been there like since I was in grade 6, right? So finally play on it, it was pretty crazy, but.
Especially in the final, I think.
Yeah, especially in the final.
Bright lights,
Yeah, bright lights.
It was crazy.
Now, what was like the crowd like? I know Dow had a home court advantage basically because it's in Halifax. Like, did you guys find UPEI fans traveled for that game or?
I think after the Cape Breton game, I feel like
word got around, you know.
Everybody started like, you know.
Yeah, so by the I mean, we probably don't have many fans at Dow, but you could definitely hear them cheering.
Oh yeah, you could definitely hear them. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was like there was so many people in there. It was just fun. Like
it's crazy.
It was fun just like scoring. You look at the Dow student section, you know. Like, they're like, it's just fun.
Dumbfounded over
that's right.
That fast break dunk that he had, number 11.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that really was like a turning point where the momentum started to switch into Dow's favor in the fourth quarter?
I feel like when Carson hit his 2 trays back to back, like not back to back, but it was almost back to back.
Yeah.
I feel like that's when they had that's when they got momentum because we had Carson in foul trouble. He had 4 fouls.
Yeah.
In the third, right?
I think something like that. I know he was in foul trouble. We just couldn't get one more.
Was the game plan trying to get him out of the game right away after he got the 4th foul?
I mean, yeah, but I guess it didn't happen. But I don't know. Like it just happened. Like they were like they had. Was he the only one in foul trouble?
I think like I don't know if Keyvan had some or what, but
it was a really chippy game.
He was in foul trouble.
I think but if we had have gotten him, it would have been a whole different game probably.
So I know you guys had the loss, but after the game, what did your coach say to you guys? Like to hold your heads on such a great season.
He told us that we shocked the country, beat a couple of teams that people didn't think we could beat. Came second. Not to hold our heads down. So we'll be back next year.
Yeah. No, you just said it was a pretty chippy game. You know, where did that hostility kind of start? When should I say that hostility started?
I think from the get-go, it was pretty physical from the get-go. Pretty physical from the get-go. But when you play down, they're always going to be physical. Like you know what I'm saying? They're not going to let you just come in there and win the game. You got to show them that you can win the game. So.
And now Glenn, playing in the paint.
Yeah.
I bet you saw a lot of that too.
Yeah, a bit more. Yeah, it's those guys definitely like a bit physical with you, but I mean it is what it is. You just gotta get used to it. You can't cry about it, you know.
Is that something you worked on like in between your first year and this would be your technically second year?
Yeah, I guess definitely trying to get like in the weight room, get bigger and stuff, but so I can sometimes I play the 4 a bit, so I have to be down there like guarding the bigger guys, even sometimes a bit out of possession, but you just gotta do it. So.
Well, I actually did see you on Instagram playing on a small outdoor court in your hometown of Scottsburg. Training there either a year or 2 back ago. You know. So let's focus training outside of the weight room on the court this offseason.
I mean, I've really focused on everything like usual, but I'm trying to mostly work on my shooting for sure, ball handling. Literally pretty much everything on the court, keep it sharp for next year. But definitely also get in the weight room for sure too. Yeah.
And for you to come back like technically overage year, what's the focus for you to make a statement going into your overage year?
Just being sharp, I guess. Tighten up some things. Getting better on the defensive end, being a leader, communicating, talking, being a better student of the game, watching like lots of film and stuff like that. But just being sharp. That's all.
Now you mentioned leader. Now who would you say other than EJ on the team is the biggest leader for you guys?
EJ, me, and Cam, we're all the leaders on the team. Well, the captains, I guess you could say. Yeah. So we all have say, but it's not like that. Everybody
it's not one guy, really by himself.
If you feel some type of way, we're cool. We're cool enough. Like I said, our bond is crazy.
No one's gonna get hurt when you tell them something,
So.
And for you in your 5th year, I'm sure coming from UPEI, the NBA is. I don't want to call it a far shot because, we haven't seen you play yet. But is it the goal is to just get some good game film for some Canadian teams? Play for the Storm?
Man, I don't know. I don't really try to focus in the future, but playing professionally is definitely one of the goals of mine for sure. But I just focus on the present, man. Wherever that takes me, that's where I'll be.
No, I want to go back just a little bit to Glen here.
Yeah.
When did you take your huge-ass growth spurt?
I think it was going into grade 11 or something. Grade 9, I was 5'10", and by the time I was in grade 11, I was 6'3". So, it was crazy. I was eating a lot, but it helped a lot. I'll tell you that. It did help a lot. Yeah.
Your sweatpants don't even fit. There's a 2-inch gap between your tube sock and your sweats.
Yeah. Long legs, man. Yeah.
Where do you even buy your clothes? I'm sure Sports Tech doesn't carry ET size.
I don't know. You can get the extra large sizes for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So what were you eating?
Just whatever my mom cooked, to be honest.
Any one meal?
What is that?
Any one particular meal?
Probably meat and potatoes, to be honest.
Well, folks, we finally found out why PEI. It's meat and potatoes. We have the meat and potato week. But, is that why PEI, big old spud country?
I don't know. My mom always thought that potatoes were one of the main things you should be eating. I don't know. And every night we had potatoes, meat, and vegetables. And, she always made sure I was eating as much as I could every time. So lots of milk too. I wouldn't drink a glass of water with it. I drink a glass of milk. So.
What kind of milk? Chocolate, 2%?
No, the highest, the cream one. The one that's
You drank cream?
Pretty much cream. It's the 3.25. The red carton. Yeah.
That's the stuff they give babies to grow.
Yeah. I just keep drinking. It's good for your bones, apparently. So you keep drinking.
And how often did you say you drink this?
Oh, every day. Still do.
Still do?
Yeah.
So I bet,
three glasses, sorry?
I don't know, a few glasses a day, yeah.
So I bet you're glad Varsity Sports at UPI are sponsored by ADL.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Okay, so settle a debate on the island then. Purity or ADL milk?
ADL.
ADL?
Yeah, I'd say ADL. I like repping the Scottsboro milk because I'm from Scottsboro, but they don't have it here, so I'd say ADL.
Yeah, and you're still repping the 3.25%.
Oh, yeah, always. Yeah,
right,
for sure.
After the episode, we'll get you a cup of coffee creamer from my fridge. Dak, were you not eating potatoes or what?
Oh, man. I had sometimes. I was really more of a chicken and rice type of guy, I guess. But I did have potatoes too, though. I do like potatoes.
Is that the pregame meal still for you?
No.
I don't even like eating that too much before the game, to be honest.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah,
if I had to pick one, it'd be definitely Alfredo.
Yeah, just something light, some not too much pasta, but a little bit. Yeah.
Is there a spot on the island that does a good Alfredo?
Old Dublin.
Old Dublin.
You
go to an Irish bar for Alfredo.
Yeah, it's crazy. But when I got it tasted amazing.
You are a brave man.
It tasted so good.
Did you have a growth spurt like Glen here, or was it just slowly? Each year you kind of grew a couple inches.
I want to say I was always small when I grew up. I was the smallest one of my group until grade 7.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I had a growth spurt, I guess. And then going into grade 9, I had another one. I just stayed the same height as this though. Yeah. So it wasn't that tall.
So then what do you do to know that your size isn't as tall as say a person like Glen on the court? What do you got to do to score? Basically,
just be skilled, be quick, and just know know what you do good, know what you do well. I feel that's a big thing. If you know what you do well, then you'll be fine.
So do you find you stay outside more than go in?
Yeah, 100%. But I mean, like, I don't know, like some games I will. It just depends on like the feeling.
Yeah.
Now you say be skilled. Is there anyone that either you look to in the NBA? I'm guessing it's going to be Kevin Durant's going to be the answer here, but
that's all I do is watch.
You don't even watch the NBA. You just watch
I
the
just watch
NBA.
Listen, man. When the Nets are playing, I'm Kevin Durant.
Go on YouTube like some 7th grader, like KD highlights last weekend.
So have you like seen a game in person before, or like?
No, I haven't. Only NBA game I've been to was like 2005, when like Josh Smith played on the Hawks, Joe Johnson played on the Hawks.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Al Horford? I don't know.
I think Al Horford.
No, did
Al
he play?
Horford was.
He was in the Hawks, but not then, man.
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny
Al Horford
Granger,
was-
yeah. They played against Indiana, so Danny Granger, I seen him play too. I forget who else was on that team, but yeah, that's the only NBA game.
Where'd you watch that game at? Indiana or Atlanta?
Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
in Atlanta. Yeah,
That's got to be a good atmosphere. That's
crazy.
Oh yeah.
And I went to go watch a Michael Vick game, but I don't remember anything about it. I just remember the NBA game.
Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
2006, Michael Vick. That's
Yeah, exactly.
glad you went to basketball.
Yeah,
after
yeah.
that one.
So to go back to your skill set, like who is there anyone that you do look to, like when you're?
I watched a lot of CJ McCollum.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about his game that you really try to replicate?
He's just good at everything, but he's a 2 guard, and he was playing with Damian Lillard, so like he's really good at like going off of his reads, like Damian Lillard's reads, and just being presentable to when he needs to be presentable, I guess.
Being like the second guy on the team, like
Yeah,
always open.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you kept saying on the car ride over here and before the episode, run it back. You got to run it back again.
Yeah, definitely have to run it back.
So for next year, what's the goal?
The goal is to win the whole thing.
Yeah.
Win the whole thing, go to nationals, and then make some noise over there too.
Well, you're probably going to face Dal again.
Yeah, we'll be ready for them.
What are you gonna do next year to make a statement to them?
Probably just do the same thing we've been doing.
Yeah, man.
Staying in the gym, not being ready for the moment, staying in the present, and should be fine.
And what about you, like just your recruits coming in this year? How big do you think they're gonna have a role on the team?
The new ones coming in?
Yeah.
I don't even know who's coming in. I don't really know. That's all coach's stuff. I just come here whenever I have to be here. I'm ready to work,
You'll probably find out in June, July, August.
Yeah, probably
something
like closer to
summer.
Yeah, closer to that time. Yeah.
Well, I know you guys are going to be thinking about the black and gold, the Dalhousie Tigers for a long time to come.
Yeah.
Until you get the chance to play them again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And they are a young team too. I mean, there's going to be a lot of returning players.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you had to pick one or two things to focus on against them, what are they?
Probably just defense, to be honest. Like making them take tough shots, making them turn the ball, making them play our game instead of theirs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a mental thing at this point. Like.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, you just
Gotta
gotta
be
be mentally
sharp the whole way
strong.
through, yeah.
You
Sharp
gotta be
the whole way
focused. Like no lapses throughout the game, or else they'll jump on you.
Mhm.
So you gotta be ready for anything. Yeah.
Well, like we said, we got to let you get to practice here in a few minutes. So, obviously, the focus is there. Thank you for hopping on the episode, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
And
Thank you,
As-
appreciate it.
as Islanders now, we wish you the best against Dal next season.
Thank you.
Thanks, appreciate it.
All right. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow along on Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. If you haven't already, folks, we are on Instagram with live scores, sports, and updates and interviews at the Waterboyz_media. So follow along there for all your island sports. Justin, take me out.
Cue the music.